What is going on, full-time family? It is time to start the show. We're going to be talking about some MMA current events today. But before we get into Jon Jones versus Ngannou and what seemingly was the fight being booked, and we're going to talk about this. This isn't just some April Fool's joke like people are saying. There's more to this. And when it comes to MMA April Fool's jokes, day one hitters, we know we take the cake over here. We had Tony Ferguson falling out the fight before he tripped on the cord. That was the ultimate April Fool's joke that came to fruition. Now, I believe this will be an April Fool's joke that comes to fruition because I don't believe this was just a joke. Jon Jones and Dana White on Twitter saying that the deal was done. We're going to talk about that. But first, before we do, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Don't be a baby back bagel biting blue pill beta male because you know what time it is. It's full-time MMA. Now, with that being said, we got a few things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Jon Jones and Dana White announcing Ngannou versus Jones on Twitter. It was on April Fool's, but Dana White's response was not on April Fool's. And why the hell would these two people who are at odds in negotiations come together to make some joke? Like, if you're Dana White and you're trying to get $1 million deal done and Jon Jones is stopping you, why the fuck would you guys come together on some little petty April Fool's joke? That don't make any sense. If you guys are at odds, but you guys are, hey, Jon, let's trick the guys. What the fuck? So I don't think it was all joke at all. Also, we're going to talk about McGregor versus Poirier 3 officially being booked for July 10th, I believe. Dustin Poirier hinted at it. McGregor confirmed it. We got Volkanovski and Brian Ortega going to be the next coaches on The Ultimate Fighter. That's going to be a good show. I don't know if they've got the rivalry or I don't know if they even the matchup that I want to see to draw me into a whole show. I have to see what this season entails. You know, what is it going to be? Featherweights? Is it going to be half heavyweights, half featherweight? How are they going to do that? You know, because just The Ultimate Fighter with Ortega and Volkanovski, I'll watch the fight, but I don't know if that's going to draw me back into The Ultimate Fighter. Jan Blachowicz willing to go to heavyweight to fight Jon Jones, also open to super fight with Francis Ngannou. This is another person throwing his name in the Ngannou ring. If Jon Jones wants to price himself out the game, we can still make some super fights happen. We got Derek Lewis, who already beat Ngannou once, and then we got Jan Blachowicz, the light heavyweight champion. If we can't get Jon, we'll get Jan, if you know what I'm saying. Gilbert Burns versus Wonderboy Thompson. That's a great welterweight fight. Definitely a number one contenders matchup. Any one of those guys could be fighting for the title if they win that fight. Gilbert Burns maybe not going against him. Gilbert Burns might not get another rematch against Usman immediately, but Stephen Thompson's definitely going to be putting his name in the hat. We got Kevin Holland, man, the Black Cowboy, coming through, stepping up, short notice, just coming off the loss to Derek Brunson, stepping up to fight Marvin Vettori next week. I mean, anyone, anywhere, anytime. Catch Kevin Holland right now. I hope Cowboys enjoying that McGregor money and all that other money he's got right now. But right now, Kevin Holland is doing a great job of filling in for Cowboys' shoes. He just needs to come with a motherfucking cowboy hat and a piece of straw hanging out of his mouth to this press conference. Because Kevin Holland, motherfucking yeehaw! Anytime, anywhere, any place. All right, now let's get into this. We're going to break each one of these down a little bit individually. We're going to talk about Jon Jones. We're going to talk about El Jefe Dana White. And we're going to talk about the Predator, Francis Ngannou. I might have to do a song for that one, man. Jon Jones versus Ngannou. That fight might be big enough for me to dust off the old lyric book and put together a couple of rhymes for that song. You know, we might have to remix something for that. But Jon Jones, of course, one of the greatest fighters, if not the greatest fighter of all time. Former light heavyweight champion, vacated the belt to come up to heavyweight. Now, Francis Ngannou is the champion, and everybody wants to see Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou. But we have a money fight going on. We have a business discrepancy between Jon Jones and the UFC. He wants a red penny night, or a black panty night or a green panty night. Whatever color panties John Jones prefers, he's ready for his panty night, his big payday. He wants that Conor McGregor money. CSH Combat Sports in the building. What's going on, Coach? I see you guys. Mr. T, Mob Squad, Tony, thank you very much. Salute, Coach. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Or do we got a bunch of baby back bagel fighters in here watching the stream? So John Jones said 8 to 10 million is not nearly enough to get the Francis Ngannou fight done. He wants probably closer to 50 million. He wants guaranteed money. And the fight's gonna, but this is the thing. You also negotiate pay-per-view points. So are you willing to take a big upfront payday, 50 million with no pay-per-view points? Or do you want 50 million and pay-per-view points? What is John Jones asking for? Does John Jones deserve a lot of money for this fight? For sure. 100% he deserves a lot of money. But you can't price yourself out. Let's say John Jones deserves 30 million. We don't know the real number. Let's say 30 million is the perfect number. Well, what if John Jones is coming in like, no, I want 70 million? You know, what if he's being unreasonable? Now, I'm gonna give John Jones the benefit of the doubt because the UFC has been raking in the dough for so long. But I mean, even with that being said, what would this, if John Jones gets paid here, I don't know how much it does for the rest of the athletes, because as we've seen, the top caliber athletes in the UFC will get their slice of the pie because they have leverage. But the guys that are entry level, the guys that are the journeymen, the gatekeepers, these guys still ain't gonna, they can't do what John Jones is doing. They all deserve more too. All of them. Every single fighter, you could argue, deserves more. Even if you're just talking about percentage of sponsorships, percentage of TV deals, every fighter probably deserves more. But they all can't do what John Jones is doing right now. They also all don't have brothers in the NFL. So John Jones is in a very privileged position in terms of negotiations. He's got a lot of leverage that a lot of guys don't have. So yeah, the UFC might cave in for John Jones. But what does that do for the rest of the guys? That's really John Jones looking out for himself. I mean, maybe it lays out a path for other guys that get leverage, but look at guys like Masvidal. Man, it's a lot of guys, especially if you have a manager, they know how to use their leverage. So, I mean, I think John Jones is just in a position where he's forcing the UFC's hand, and when it comes to this fight announcement with Dana White, like I said, I think there's more to it. Look, this is what he said. I'm sure everyone already knows, but I'm going to tell you why I don't think this was just April Fool's. There's something more to this. He said, I just had a great dinner and the best conversation I've had with Dana in a very long time. We got the deal done. Date to be announced soon. And then he said, shortly after, it's about 11:42 here in Albuquerque. And then he said, I hope you guys had a good April Fool's. So for John Jones, it seemed like a big April Fool's joke. Completely. Okay, you got us. But for Dana White to come in at 1:10 a.m., now it's 12:10 a.m. in Albuquerque. April Fool's is over, Dana. April Fool's is over. Dana's saying incredible night, brother. That ain't April Fool's. You're breaking April Fool's rules if you are doing that, for one. And then, like I said earlier, for two, how, if you guys are at odds, if you guys can't agree on negotiations, if John Jones potentially, if you guys are at odds in negotiations, when do you guys say, hey, you want to play an April Fool's joke? Let's put our negotiations aside. I know you don't want to pay me what I'm worth. Yeah, John, I know you don't want to come up to heavyweight. I know you're threatening to retire. But let's play a little joke. What? So clearly they are at least on good terms. Even if the fight's not official, Dana White and John Jones are at least on good terms. And that's something we can take from this. That's actually, regardless of it being an April Fool's joke, them being on good terms is a good sign toward the fight that we all want to see, toward John Jones going up to heavyweight. You're supposed to go for Delph. You goddamn sure. You're right, but John Jones came out with the moral argument. I'm doing this for the fighters. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm doing this for the fighters. That's why I was bringing that up, because John Jones came out and he was like, I'm doing this for fighters in the future. He was capping. You're right. It was for Delph. That was for Delph, and you're right. You're supposed to go for Delph. Jan mentioned Wilder getting 30 mil versus Fury on 800K pay-per-view. John did. Yeah, no. Yeah, UFC fighters, when it comes to pay-per-views and even just base pay, they don't get near what boxers and a lot of these other sports get. And I think this, now they're going public. They're trying to go public. It's going to be a lot better for everyone, because whenever they're private, man, and you don't know what they're bringing in, and there's a lot of shadiness in terms of the UFC's pay structure and percentages, and I mean, how much money do they get from all these overseas, and there's just all type of, they bring in a lot more money than just pay-per-views and ticket sales. They've got TV deals in probably fucking Guatemala, probably trying to get TV deals in Africa, not even on like Fox and ESPN. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the ESPN in Africa? They probably got a fucking AFPN deal that don't nobody know about. No, I'm just coming up with that off the top of my head, but we know about American TV deals. Who the fuck is even checking on these other TV deals? In Brazil, what do they got? Telemundo Brazil? Does the UFC have Brazil Telemundo contracts? What, the fighters ain't getting none of that either? These motherfuckers are raking in the dough, like big time. John Jones deserves what he's asking for, but what I'm saying is, let's say you've agreed to $2 million a fight in the past. Just because you find out they've been making $50 million a fight off of you, you were happy with $2 million. So you can't go from asking for $2 million a fight to $100 million a fight next fight. It's got to be reasonable. It's got to be. They worked those deals out. AFP, whatever deals the UFC has, John Jones didn't get those deals. That was the UFC's business. And so if it's not a public company, if you agreed to these terms, if you signed to this contract, coming out and going back on your word is not cool. I get it. You probably have been getting the short end of the stick, but so has everybody else. And you agreed to do this. You still get the prestige and the clout of being the greatest fighter of all time, and you still don't got to go do other things. You always got the option of getting a different job. I mean, yeah, you might not go fight somewhere else, but you can be a coach. You can do, there's a lot of other things you can do outside of fighting. You're only going to be able to fight for, you're only going to be able to fight for a certain amount of time. And it's just the name of the game. He's going to get his money. I think he's going to get his money, because if he doesn't, it's going to start raising too many questions, and the UFC doesn't want that. They don't want one of their biggest stars to come out and holding out for money, because that's when everybody starts raising questions, like I just did. Like, wait, I wonder if they got a TV deal in Brazil, or I wonder if they got a TV deal in Africa or Australia. Russia and China are big, booming new markets. I wonder if they've got TV deals in Russia and China. Like, We're not even talking about sponsorships or all type of shit they could have. The new Venom deal. I mean, we know about ESPN, but the Vittori vs. Holland next weekend is on ABC. Now we're on ABC and we're on ESPN and we're on pay-per-view. What? These motherfuckers is all around the world, Craig. They're all around the world. We're gonna have to pay this man. He's probably worth every penny he's asking for, but if he gets paid, it's gonna have to be quick, because they're gonna have to. That's probably what he's forcing their hand. They're gonna have to pay him, because they're gonna have to shut him up. You can't have the biggest star in the game bringing eyes on the not fair splits, because you're gonna have a lot more people asking questions. So he's probably gonna get paid, and that's probably why they're on good terms. Which is why I'm saying I don't think this was 100% April Fool's, because you don't get together with someone you're not friends with to make an April Fool's joke. I'm not going to go get with somebody that I'm at odds with that I can't agree to terms with and say, hey, you want to make an April Fool's joke real quick? Like, you know, let's say I've got a supervisor that's not willing to give me a raise that I've been asking for and I feel like I deserve it. Are we going to go, like, me and you can't agree? Are we about to go team up and make an April Fool's joke together? No, motherfucker, I want you to agree with me still. I'm on my money. We ain't making no jokes. How about we make this fight really happen and it don't have to be a joke? How about you pay me what I'm asking and we don't have to joke about it, Dana? Or, you know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I think there might have been a little more to this, and like I said, at least it shows they're on good enough terms to make an April Fool's joke, which means they're not completely at odds and they can get a deal done. Good signs for the Ngannou versus Jones fight. All right, moving on, we've got Conor McGregor on a mission to absolutely fucking destroy Dustin Poirier, and confirming the trilogy fight is booked. Conor McGregor took to Twitter, actually this was Instagram, and he said, the fight is booked. July 10th, you're going to see what the Mac is about. Adjust and absolutely fucking destroy. The Mac is back. And I'm saying it first, man. Conor McGregor's taking this shit serious. He's getting out of the boxing mentality. Dustin Poirier, don't rest on your laurels. I know you just had your red panty, your diamond panty night, but man, put them diamond panties back on because you still got business to finish. Tell her, hold on to the diamond panties. And we gotta focus because the Mac is back and he's out of his boxing mentality. He's gonna be checking leg kicks. He's gonna have his cardio up, and that left is gonna be back. Poirier, be careful, whoo, because the Mac is back in attack, and you know Conor don't lack. I'm telling you, no, hey, this is McGregor's last fucking hope. You come in and get knocked out by Poirier again, you are a clown. You are a fucking, you look like CM Punk, you look like Ronda Rousey. You gotta come get a dub, big dog. Conor's gotta get a dub. He needs a dub. 100%. If he can win this, he needs to fight Nate Diaz. I seen my boy Nate Diaz in the gym with Big Boy. Hey, he's getting big, lifting with some power lifters. Nate Diaz, man, he's going to be ready, too, for his next fight. I can't wait. He's fighting Leon Edwards next. Ooh, I don't know how. That's a tough challenge, man. McGregor and Nate, they both got tough. They could both just lose and then fight each other. Because McGregor needs this win so bad. He's just been on a straight losing streak. I mean, he's got more money than he'll ever need, so really it don't matter. But I'm saying, for your legacy, bro, you looking all type of crazy. Just back, boom, fucked up by Khabib, dropped by Khabib, ragdoll, tapped out, dropped by Dustin, knocked out, finished by... Come on, man, you was the Notorious. The two-division, featherweight, lightweight champion. Knocked out Aldo. Fucking knocked out Eddie Alvarez. Come on, man. They're making it look like RDA would have whooped his ass if that he didn't get injured. Man, they're making me feel like Aldo might have won the rematch. Them leg kicks, Poirier was eating him up. Man, Aldo's probably looking at him with the face, you know, one of the meme faces like, what? This motherfucker can't stop a leg kick? Come on. I want to see Aldo versus Conor now, because this is some bullshit, Conor. This is some bullshit, Conor. That's another thing. Yeah, we didn't talk about Francis in terms of Dana White and John Jones, but Francis looks like a whole nother monster, guys. We're going to talk about that. I want to finish talking about Conor and Poirier, because Poirier, man, who would have expected him? I mean, he's been with the UFC since he was a baby, man. Pretty much like 19 years old, I want to say, and just fighting at featherweight, fighting with, you know, and just one of those. He's one of the guys like Masvidal, where he got it out the mud. He was a real fighter. He wasn't just some athlete. He worked to become one of the greatest fighters of all time. He got with one of the greatest fight camps of all time, Fight Team's American Top Team, and he's been there, and he's paid his dues. He's 100% paid his dues. And to see people paid their dues reap their rewards, it's always a feel-good story for a hardcore fan or somebody that just notices people paying their dues. And they don't always get, there's a lot of people that pay their dues and they don't get their shine. So to see Dustin Poirier win, if he beats McGregor again, I'm happy with it. I don't care about McGregor getting back on and bringing the whole McGregor mania back. No, if Dustin Poirier knocks McGregor out again and sends him into the shadow realms and retires him, good for Dustin Poirier. Because Dustin Poirier paid his dues, and he's one of the greatest fighters of all time because of it. And by him beating Conor McGregor, it just goes to show that. I mean, you can look at his resume, you can watch his fights. I mean, you can watch his, he's got, it's not even just his skills, he's got the fucking heart. Go watch his Gaethje fight. I mean, come on. Alvarez fight, come on. The heart of a lion, a champion. They need to make a McGregor belt just so Poirier can hold on to that motherfucker, even though he already had the lightweight belt. Interim, whatever. But I mean, as a fight, everyone's going to be watching McGregor Poirier 3. I mean, I'm sure we'll be talking about it a lot more. But let's talk about Francis for one quick second. Because I seen a point in the chat that is just, you're right. That's another reason Jon Jones needs to get everything he can. Francis, Mr. T says, Francis with improved ground game is horrifying. Someone call the game developers to debuff him ASAP. Yo, Francis with the improved ground game, the improved grappling, just takedown defense. He threw a head kick at one point. Head kicks, takedown, he sprawled, he threw Stipe down. He's doing everything. No, this Francis is fucking everything up, man. This dude looks like a monster. I don't know who's gonna beat Francis. Father Time? I mean, Jon Jones? Ooh, I don't know, man. I gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe it. I wouldn't bet no money on Jon or Francis. I'll be probably leaning toward Francis, but there's no way I would be comfortable enough to, like, pick Jon to win against that Francis. Next, we've got the next Ultimate Fighter coming up. Coaches were announced: Alexander Volkanovski and T-City Brian Ortega to serve as coaches on the Ultimate Fighter 29. I said a little bit earlier, I'm not super excited about their beef and their rivalry. It would have been better if Brian Ortega and Korean Zombie, they actually had a little bit of a beef. And I mean, hey, say what you want. Like, the Ultimate Fighter is cool, but it's season 29. You've got to have some sort of storyline to kind of make it interesting, I think. I mean, you don't have to, but if you're going to make it something that people actually take time out of their day to watch weekly, I mean, to go out of their way to watch it, you're going to have to, because people got so much. I know I got so much going on. I don't got time to just be watching every week of the Ultimate Fighter. So if it's just Volkanovski and Ortega, and that's another thing, I'm not just dying for that fight. For that fight, Ortega's got a submitter's chance. Brian Ortega's going to have to pull off some sort of guillotine or rear naked choke, or he's not going to win that fight. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not dying to see Ortega versus Volkanovski in the first place. Then on top of that, there's not really any added history or that these guys have that stands out that makes me say, oh shit, how are these guys going to interact in the same house? Because I know this motherfucker, it's on site. They can't stand each other. So putting them in the same house is going to be interesting. This is just going to be respectful. Boy, you think you're gonna choke me out? You're not gonna choke me, brother. Yeah, watch. I'm gonna choke you. Yeah. Me and my vatos, watch. We choke motherfuckers. Watch. You're not gonna choke me. Huh? My guy's gonna whoop your guy's ass next week. Watch. No, we're training it. All right, man. I'm not dying for this tough. Jan Blachowicz willing to go up to heavyweight to fight Jon Jones, also for a super fight with Ngannou. Jan Blachowicz, I mean, he is in the... I can't believe this man is still the light heavyweight champion. I'm not going to cap. This is not who I expected to be Jon Jones' replacement in the end. I'm pretty sure he's got a loss on his record to Thiago Santos in the past, but I never saw it coming. This is the dark horse of dark horses. I wasn't going to didn't have my eye on Giannis like, oh, this motherfucker's going to be the future champion, kingpin of this division when John Jones leaves. We were looking at guys like Dominic Reyes, Alexander Rakic, Thiago Santos, the guys that have actually had good fights with John Jones, you know what I'm saying? We were looking at all these future faces of the light heavyweight division, and here's Jan Blachowicz like, what's up, Poland Power, bitches? I'm ready to fight anybody, and I'm beating everybody. The only person left is like Glover for him to fight. It's like, damn, now we need to see John Jones fight this dude. Who's gonna beat Jan? The hell? Who thought? John's gone, but we still got John with the A. It's just the name. I'm gonna name my son like John with a U. He's gonna be the next king of the light heavyweight division. No, but this takes away leverage from somebody like John Jones. And in all honesty, though, whenever you got guys like Derek Lewis and Jan Blachowicz who actually have some sort of name willing to step up and fight Francis Ngannou, that gives the UFC more power in terms of negotiations with John Jones. And that's just the name of the game. Everyone wants to see John Jones versus Francis Ngannou, but the UFC doesn't need it. We will be just fine watching Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis, and then Francis Ngannou and Jan Blachowicz, and then Francis Ngannou and Curtis Blades again. Not Curtis Blades, whoever it is. Yeah, we want to see John Jones, but there's a couple other fights that makes it Father Time. The clock is still ticking on John Jones. So it's like, okay, if you want to play hardball, we'll let him fight Jan. Then we'll let him fight Derek Lewis. Now you've lost another year of your career. Hope you've been training hard. Now we'll pay you, but you have less leverage now. So now you even have a more likely chance of losing when you do fight Francis. So the UFC, this does give them leverage. And I'm not going to lie, I would like to see Jan Blachowicz definitely versus John Jones, but that would be something they had to go through for the UFC. But Jan Blachowicz versus Francis Ngannou is champ versus champ. It's going to be hard to see. So what? They got a 40-pound clause, so Jan Blachowicz would have to get up to 225 pounds. I mean, I would watch Jan Blachowicz versus Francis. He's beat all these other guys. He's not going to beat Francis. He's not going to beat Francis. Who the fuck are we kidding? It's champ versus champ, but you're not going to beat Francis. Let me fucking stop right now while I'm behind. I would see the fight because it's champ versus champ, but I would just like to see what the fuck Francis did to this guy. Man, I'm about to go. I want to go watch Kong versus Godzilla. I'm going to be envisioning Francis versus somebody. Francis versus Kong. That's what he reminds me of. He's just a big fucking... He's a wrecking ball right now. I just don't see no one messing with Francis right now. Stipe rematch, I don't see it. John Jones, I don't see it. He's just doing way too much right now. What have we seen in that Stipe fight? The grappling, the ground game. The head kicks, the overall striking, the grappling, everything improved. Even the cardio. That's gonna be a scary guy for a while to come. Someone said Godzilla vs. Kong was fire. Hey, I might go see that this weekend. Well, not this weekend, maybe next weekend. Christian Anderzola, my guy, said TUF gonna flop. They have no personality. Yeah, man. Good eye, mate. We're gonna whoop your ass tonight. I guess this dude can see the future. Hey. So yeah, Jan Blachowicz, man, coming through. He's willing to put his money where his mouth is. He's trying to get that red penny night himself. He wants a super fight. Jan wants a super fight. He's been fighting these other clowns. Now he wants some of that super fight pay-per-view money. He's trying to buy his girl some Polish red panties. Some maroon panties. Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson targeted for UFC 264. This is going to be a great fight. #1 contender fight, in my opinion, for Stephen Thompson. The only thing that's holding it up is you got guys like Colby Covington and Masvidal and all these big stars up there. Vicente Luque just beat Tyron Woodley. That division is stacked, but it will get Stephen Thompson back in the right path. He might be one fight away if he can beat Gilbert Burns. Or if Stephen Thompson beats Gilbert Burns, he can even fight Masvidal next after he loses to Usman, which I love Masvidal. Favorite fighter of all time. But fucking Usman is on a whole different tier right now. Oh, let me shut the fuck up, man. I've counted out game bread before against Ben Askren, and I live to eat crow and eat those words. I'm just, that's the probability, but I'm hoping game bread comes out and dodges all the foot stomps. Bah, 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 bah. 6-piece in the motherfucking, not even a soda, man. Give him a 6-piece in the motherfucking apple juice. I don't know. I just need to see it. I don't want to count Masvidal out. That's my guy. By the way, I ain't even keeping track of the thumbs up, man. Let's see where we're at. Let's check us out. We got 9 likes, 14 viewers. We'll take it. But if you haven't yet, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button. Don't be a baby back, beta male. Also, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. All right, we got a couple more things to talk about, and then I'm going to be off of here. Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson. All right, guys. Gilbert Burns, Dorino, I mean, we've seen what he did to Tyron Woodley, and we've seen Woodley versus Wonderboy Thompson, so don't count Gilbert Burns out of this fight just because Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is generally a bad matchup for anybody. If Stephen Wonderboy Thompson stays on the outside and plays the karate game, it's almost like a chess match. And Gilbert Burns, I mean, he's already shocked us. I mean, he had a good fight with Usman, but more impressively was his fight with Tyron Woodley, where he shut him out for 5 rounds. And Gilbert Burns is not somebody to count out. We have found that out. So that's just a great fight. 2 of the top 5 welterweights in the world. Whoever wins is 1 fight away from another title fight. Gilbert Burns, I don't know how close he is to getting a rematch with Usman just because we've already seen it, and I don't know how much the UFC is going to push that. But Stephen Thompson's definitely one of those guys that's, you know, a friendly face. That's one of those stars that they would like to push to the front. You know, he's got the smile and that. So I could see him definitely being close to a title shot. He's did a lot of calling out of Masvidal, the baddest motherfucker versus the nicest motherfucker. I know he wants to see that fight. So love this fight. Love it. Love it enough to talk about it. Gilbert Burns, Stephen Thompson. Can't wait. And then Marvin Vettori, Kevin Holland. Like I said, get Kevin Holland the cowboy hat. Get him a straw to hang out of his mouth. This is the black cowboy. Anyone, anywhere, any place. He talks a lot, and I fucking love it. I know some people don't like it. They don't like seeing him talk. But to me, he's in there and enjoying himself. He's not even in there being an asshole. He's like, oh, that was a good shot. Like, he's literally in there enjoying himself in the fight. Maybe that's what some people don't like because he's not taking it as serious, but that shit is funny. It's entertaining. That's what it is. This is entertainment, and Kevin Holland's entertaining. So sign me up every fucking time he fights. I fuck with Kevin Holland. I hope him success. This is a super tough fight, and he's just coming off of a loss to Brunson. So I don't see Kevin Holland winning this fight, honestly. If he did, I would be rooting for him. But I see probably Marvin Vettori using his wrestling, keeping Kevin Holland down, maybe some ground and pound, and he might get him out of there. If not, it's going to be a decision. Kevin Holland is not somebody that's easy to finish. You're going to have to take him to the deep waters, and he's willing to go there with you. Okay, so I could see Marvin Vettori using his wrestling and winning a decision with this fight. Either way, not going to be much off Kevin Holland. He's taking this fight on short notice, and this is a top contender that's already fought to a split decision with Israel Adesanya. So, with that being said, salute to the chat. Let's check the chat out. I'm going to read the chat before we hop off of here for the day. Let's pull up the chat. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button before you get out of here. Salute to Mob Squad Tony, Mr. T, CSH Combat Sports. We got Yo Jordan in the building. Rob Silva. My boy Christian Andazola. Bruce Almighty. And then, of course, Dom Sugar and First Named After One. Salute to First Named After One. And he says, Dom Sugar says, I guess this dude can see the future. I think I already read that one. McNuggets in 60 seconds, says Christian Andazola. Mr. T says, John has to get him now before he gets better. Yeah. And so the more time you give Francis, the more dangerous he gets. You are right. Mob Squad Tony says, we out here. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming through. And if you're watching on the replay, thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell. Don't be a baby back bagel biting beta male. You know what time it is, man. It's Full Time MMA. Let the Full Time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.